Based on my understanding, you are willfully bringing about suffering on that life, as to be born is to suffer. So why wish birth? What would happen to the cycle of samsara if all beings stopped reproducing? Why didn't the Buddha have more kids after reaching enlightenment? Is it possible to have kids outside of self-grasping or attached motives? And is intentionally bringing life, perpetuating the cycle of suffering for all beings?
Okay, very good question. I love that. This question goes directly to Buddha, not me. The first one. Now let's hold the first one. Give me the first one, because you can say it.
What is the karma of deciding or choosing to bring life or a child into this world?
Deciding 생각하시보다.
Make a decision.
So, you mean deciding?
Choice.
Like the parents deciding we want a child or the... Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. There could be so many reasons for that. Saying like, now my girlfriend just got married and got kids, so I need to rush. Like that one. Or one that I need to have a family, I want a child. And then there could be some people like on this planet, I want my child to become a teacher and to bring some kind of peace and this lineage to hold. This is there. So many reasons, but mostly when people decide to have a kid, even though when you not just having a kid, even you have a kid, how you educate him. More is we given it. The best advice is you need to stand up on your feet. You shouldn't surrender it to anyone. You should do this for earning, living. Only this kind of teaching what all the parents give. But then, as we go back to the Buddha's advice to his kid, one child, I think Buddha thought like one is enough. Because one reason why I can say Buddha didn't want to have a kid is because he wanted to show to his students the ethical conduct as being a monk, that you can get such a great, precious opportunity to practice Dharma. So if the big boss himself do something like mixed up, then his follower will start doing the same thing, even not knowing that he can have a kid without attachment. With respect to Buddha, he can have a sex without an attachment. People will not go through that. People with that, Buddha can do it, I will do it. I follow Buddha's path. You can see these things still now in the Buddha's followers. So this is the why Buddha hold his position, for sure. But then it's amazing with this part of Tantra, we don't need to talk about it. Then what was the other one?
Part of it is what is the karma of deciding to have a kid. Decide the parents give from making the decision to have kids, bring kids to the world.
레디 개발에 민교를 쓰고 그래.
The Karim.
아래 부지 고에 쓰고 돼. 근데 레지고 샤이 말해. This is through
Men the Pugukegi, the Le Kangni Chum Likechamare, the decision.
Decision there
The Latini Le Karisaki.
the decision till then. That is Loma Dana.
Yeah.
Loma Dana.
Neutral.
It's a neutral, but the
Yeah, it's neither virtuous, it's a neutral karma, which means it's neither virtuous nor non-virtuous.
But the decision.
Yeah, making the decision, you asked the first question, what is the karma that comes from making a decision to have kids? So the karma that's created from that is neutral, it's neither positive nor negative, it's neutral.
It's like I wanted to eat a pizza. Okay? So it's another. And so it's like sometimes we say this is a biological something that comes in our mind and so on. But this is a neutral seven, neutral. But then I give you a tip. What will this was one part of your question. What will happen if every sentient being or every human being, especially human being, think that now no more rebirth? So then, what will happen to the human realm? That was your question, right?
Yes.
That I think you don't need to worry. So look at all this. Only 2 or 3 people might be practicing so seriously. Otherwise, they will just no worries. Just kidding. Just kidding. Here now, if we make a bit more clear, to end the samsara doesn't mean to end the consciousness. That doesn't mean that liberation, that cessation of the rebirth doesn't mean there won't be a continuum of the consciousness. So what we are wanted to really say goodbye is the consciousness which is influenced by the negative emotions, forced by the ignorance mind, that now I really don't want to take it. That is the main concern. So after that, even the consciousness continues. People who reach on the enlightenment, not enlightenment, the liberation, their consciousness continues in a meditation state. But then they really don't want to come back to samsara, so they stay mostly in a meditation, meditative equipoise. Best. So for the Bodhisattvas, now reincarnation to benefit the sentient beings, I wanted to continue to benefit others. So that is the act of the Bodhisattvas. So now, once you have to say goodbye to the 12 links of the cyclic existence, then for the Bodhisattvas, they have the next cyclic of the kind of 12 links, which is not by the ignorance mind and by the attachment, but they use the compassion. They are not under the sway of the ignorance mind, but they are influenced by the compassion. So then they don't use the attachment, they use prayers. So that's why prayers and attachment has a similarity there. But the cleaner version is the the prayer. So the Bodhisattva use prayer and compassion to come back to the samsara, in the samsara, but not influenced by it. So that's why we respect His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So until the 14th, all this, the lineage where we respect so much, we believe they don't come by the using the attachment and through the ignorance. So that's why. Yeah, so this only requires, if you do little research, only this is required for Bodhisattvas, not for the other, like Arhats. And then if you go to Thailand and Burma, they will never talk about reincarnation. We are all reincarnated. I'm the not one. I'm just recognized. You guys are not recognized. You didn't win the lottery. I win the lottery. Jackpot. So this is very important. So the biggest concern for your own good, you really don't need to come back to samsara because you already said goodbye. So that is the Dharmakaya. So keep this in mind. In future you can go deeper on that. It's the meditating one. So this morning when we go through the Heart Sutra, the Heart Sutra is such a beautiful text. Sometimes I call it, this could be our Buddhist Bible. So in the Heart Sutra, in the beginning of where the discussion happens, Buddha stays in a meditative voice, in the concentration. Then it says, through his power of the meditation, these two disciples of him start making the discussion. But influenced by his blessing. That's the power. So he stays in a meditative voice, but then he can still do all the activities. Like it looks like this could happen through the power of the Buddha. Of course, these two gentlemen are such a great masters, but this could happen through the blessings of the Buddha. So it looks like the whole thing, if you look at that, only Buddha says two words. Well said, that's it. The rest of it, all the hard work, looks like the hard work of Shariputra and the other which are two students of him. So the Buddha only two words there, but the whole Heart Sutra is Buddha's teaching. So that means staying in the meditative voice, meditating on emptiness, on this reality. That means Buddha is no more in samsara. But then all the activities he can do is through the art of compassion. And through all this meditation, he can connect, he can say, he can give, he can take whatever activities. So this is the act of the Bodhisattva, or the Buddha can do this. So this is what we need. So this is how Buddha never gets tired and to help sentient beings. For us, if we start helping your own kid, but how much that kind of energy takes, right? So you have all experience. Sometimes you go crazy, right? I have seen that, I have noticed that. So for the Buddhas, it's like, I love it. I am not going to give up. I need to do it more and more. So that's why to define Buddha, I think the most beautiful I found saying he has the body which is effortless. So he does not need to bring any effort. So it's with little bit effort, then you feel tired. Do you know what is the slightest effort? Motivation. If you have to have a motivation, that is also difficult. You think like, oh, motivation is okay. But even on these Bhumis, they wanted to get rid of the motivation to help the sentient beings. They wanted to, like they make a prayer, like Shantideva has a prayer saying, may I be like the wild forest. If somebody cuts down, I don't feel like I'm like a wild, so people can use it, people can do it. Of course, it's theirs. It does not have like I'm going to be cut down. So this kind of prayer the Bodhisattvas do it because they wanted to have this kind of a body, this kind of energy. So that if the Buddha exists, this kind of power exists. This is what we are looking for actually. So all this comes when we start to talk about under the sway of the great compassion. Do you know the main root cause to become a Bodhisattva or Bodhicitta? A great compassion. If you don't have a great compassion, then Bodhicitta cannot be born. Because the great compassion is something like the object is the sentient beings, and then Navataka is the aspect. The aspect is to the great compassion, that I be the one. I'm not saying like some Buddhas are doing this, they will help. These group A Buddha will help that, and this is mine. No. I don't care the other Buddhas will do it or not. I'm going to do it. That full responsibility, that with this great compassion, so willing to get rid of the suffering of others. So, and once on that, more you have this stronger compassion, then you will start to look for like this body is very limited, this mind is so limited, and the speech is so limited, and I need something like mind called omniscient mind. And then I need a speech like that. Whatever these people has to listen to this teaching, they will get their answer of the suffering. May I have that kind of speech every time. And then wisdom. So then along the path, then this is how Buddha is born. So then Buddha says, if you make a prostration to me directly, not necessarily you are making prostrations to me. Remember that, right? So Umanariva is in the entering into the middle way. But if you make prostrations to me, it's not necessarily you are making prostrations to Buddha. But if you are making prostrations to the first newborn Bodhisattva, then you are making prostrations to me. That sends a great message. So this is how, if you wanted to, because your question is, wanted to have a kid without attachment, through the compassion. So then I already told you, Bodhisattvas use their attachment in order to help others. So, which is powerful one. But you have to be careful. At that time you are not under the sway of the attachment, but you are under the sway of the compassion. And you are using the attachment, which is quite advanced practice. This is not, we are talking about Tantra here yet, it's on Sutra level. And then we need to start to eat, drink, sleep not through the attachment, through the compassion. We need to learn that. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Can you repeat the prayer of the 8 worldly things you said in the morning session?
8 worldly things?
You asked your teacher about bodhicitta and he replied about the 8 worldly things.
Uh-huh.
What's the prayer there? I missed it. Can you repeat it?
Right. Or you are asking what are the 8 worldly concerns?
If you can repeat, if there is a prayer about acknowledging them or...
Indulging in a mabsure. Molombios, right?
Shoge Rinpoche Chungchilangso Anidi Chitenki Chugeki Kola and Kongi Malanda or Yubasumso and Nakari Templing Rinpoche Kelachi Kola Singso and Kongi Semati Molanda.
Please check my note. Now, I couldn't remember. Maybe it wasn't me this morning. My past is not me. As far as I recall, it's not just a prayer, because my teacher was somehow going through his practices. He wanted to make a decision to go into a retreat for such a long time. He wanted to use all the energy to bring these teachings within himself. Because without shamatha, without the vipassana, whatever you wanted to bring this realization into you, you can't do it. Because you always are distracted. Even a beautiful, inspiring things that some motivational things that it really lightens you up, that it's more like a light and then there is a wind and then it goes away. Similar. So he was really wanted to do it, then he was always thinking, okay, then maybe what about, I need to check with my mother. My mother might not give a permission to do this. So maybe if I go, then should I take these things or not? All these tiny things sometimes becomes a huge matter for the meditator. So he is really checking that to leave everything and go into the retreat. So what is the biggest challenge for him is, maybe if I go, maybe I will die, I'll get sick. If I go sick, then I need to come down after 3-4 months. Or then people might say, oh, I thought you went to a long time retreat. What happened? All these concerns comes. This is all worldly concerns. It's difficult to make sometimes decisions. So that was, at the time, he really knows A to Z. If you close this book, he really knows all the outline from his heart, how to practice, where is the points that he really need to meditate on. But then, first I need to search for a good place, and then maybe can I get enough food there and here. He needs to think all sort of things. Then sometimes you think maybe it's too early. So all is really connected to what will happen to me. But sometimes once your motivation is strong, I don't care what happens. I know I'm really going to enjoy it. So like the great McLeod, so when he set foot into the cave, then he's saying, now I, the beggar, the McLeod, I found this teaching from my great father, Marba, not the biological father, the kind father. And now, this beggar dies here, no regret. Gets sick. Even people don't see my the corpse. I don't care. Even this goes dissolved into earth, becomes a tree. I don't care. Now my main emphasis is to bring this realization. That's me. So he hold that, and then you get so many sufferings, but he can overcome that. So my teacher was checking like this. He couldn't. So that's why he was really concerned. So that's why he's not giving my answer about bodhicitta, because he knows I'm not going to apply and generate bodhicitta like that. What is the same kind of problem he's having, I will have that. So he was giving this urgency kind of teaching. So that is the one. So quotation, I did get away.
Not exactly quotation, but Rinpoche said something like that. The Yogin said, what is blocking me from progressing is the 8 worldly concerns. And he didn't have the courage to go on because of them. And so then after that, Rinpoche said he should seek for teachings about the 8 worldly concerns and nothing else. Then Rinpoche said that we should hear like an echo, this how much you are in samsara. Like to hear that like echoing all through the day to check ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that could be, yeah. Because the echo is just the awareness in it. So it will come up in the following this, saying like how much you are comfortable, how much you are happy, but with this, the aggregates, you should be ready for what's coming up. So we are here, very practical teaching. We are here in this world as a guest. The guest which has a validity. Maybe not more than, if some people might say 100 years old. That's it. So we have to leave. So many of us, even you have to leave, but then if there's something that people don't care, once born, once have to die. That's it. That's the reality. But here, most important is, I really wanted to challenge my suffering. And many people can't do this, because as I mentioned, we always try to seek for guidance when we are on the peak of suffering, which is we are burning. If the fire is here, then we don't complain. Once fire starts caught and then you start burning, and then you will scream. So what we need to learn is, am I really happy? Yes, I'm happy. For how long I'm happy? And you can answer that. And do you need happiness forever? Yes. So what is that kind of happiness? No more suffering is my happiness. So what is no more suffering? To seize it once and again. Once and all. Once and all.
Once and for all.
Eh?
Once and for all.
For all.
Once and for all.
Oh, once and for all. Okay. Thank you. Once and for all. That sounds like mantra to me now. Once and for all. So this is something. It is very serious. It's not like, yeah, it sounds good. It's very difficult, I don't want to do it. Then you need to feel the before I show you this paragraph, saying like, if when you are tormented
Tormented by
thirst, then first thing is not you think, I need water. First you reflect, why I really need water is because I don't want to tormented by the thirst. That should be your answer. Normally we don't do that. So that's why then you always think like, do we have enough water for the rest of our life? Right? Yeah. And the beautiful practice of not having inwardly concerns is a great victory for the practitioners. Because what? You are even you are in the samsara, you are freed from what people are saying to you. Many of us, we care what people tell and thinks. And we live as people, what will people say and think about you? But if you don't have this eight-bodhi concerns, you will really enjoy. Because you are free from all the
praise.
The praise. If you say something bad, good, then it's more like the echo. You don't, if you say, oh, into the cave, you won't not get like there's another people saying something. It's just the echo, just hearing something, that's it. They have their right to say anything to me. I check my own mind, that's it. So it won't concern. There one story that I can share with you. It's very touching because one of the great master in Tibet, whose name is Gishilangri Thamba. Maybe Gishilangri Thamba. Yeah, Gishilangri Thamba, I think, in Tibet. Dalai Lama. What happened was, he is very famous in Tibet, and he has thousands of students, monks. And then his practice is so good. He is known as a Bodhisattva. And then one day what happened, he has one enemy, maybe many enemies, but there's one enemy that a monk who really wanted to bring a shame to Gishilangri. And while he was giving a large audience teaching, and then a girl comes with a baby, and then girl puts the baby into his lap and say, I cannot take care of this baby anymore. You take care of this baby. And then she walked away from that. Geshe Langje Tamba took it. He never shouted to the lady. He took the baby and he continued giving teaching. The whole monk started talking. What? Is this true? I cannot believe it. He never responded to this criticism. He took the baby, feed him well, give him a bath. Oh, the whole community, many of his students start losing faith in him. Then the baby was growing fast and becoming strong. And then the mother really missed the baby. And the infant becomes toddler. So then mother comes and says, "Can I have my baby?" Without any saying, "Here is your baby, please take it." So the few monks left now, saying like, "What is that? What is happening?" He never answered. So still continuing. The moral of this story, he does not care. His practice is strong. He survived the criticism of the world. Even now, that time it's a Facebook, then he survived. We cannot survive. Deactivate and activate and deactivate. This is what we will do. So this is powerful. This is a practice. So because he can overcome the eight worldly concerns. This is it. This is why my teacher is so really into this sort of teaching. So that's why he is giving me this teaching. Okay? Okay, anyone? Yes. Yeah.
Hello. Thank you for your service and time. So today I was reading about medicine Buddha. Can you suggest any particular practice or a technique to heal physical suffering that we've created because of bad karma? That is my first question.
Okay.
Can I ask one more?
Let me answer that, because my memory is not really good. I'm getting older these days, so...
Same.
Normally when we try to say negative things about yourself, it's excuse. You don't want to say it. If somebody says you're getting older and you don't like it, but you wanted to save your side, then you would use like, "Oh, I'm getting older and older." It is we do it. Anyway, the medicine Buddha. So the whole thing when we are discussing about getting out of samsara, the liberation, I think this is the best medicine. Because why should we take a medicine which cannot cure the disease forever? If there is one medicine that we don't need to get aging, dying, and sick again, and this medicine should be provided to each and every sentient beings. And that's why we call the great medicine Buddha. We toksum, the three poisonous mind which the Buddha has tamed. You are the truly medicine Buddha. This is how we praise to the medicine Buddha. So now to heal, okay? So to heal, there are so many different ways to heal, like to some herbal medicines, okay? Western medicines. We all do this kind of healing. And the most healing, powerful is compassion. I tell you once a story at the time of the great Adisha. So when this great master, century what century is the Adisha? Did you? 11th century. This great master himself, such a great bodhisattva, one time he got a wound of flesh, wound, which very hard to recover. So then he heard there is one Sadhu Baba, which he does some tantric meditations or the healing powers. And then one of his students mentioned, why don't you go and ask for his help? So then Adisha thought like, okay, I will give it a try. So he went there. Such a educated master. So he went there, and then this Babaji started doing the mantra. And then he started blowing on his wound. And then each and every day it started recovering. And then his student came and asked the great Adisha, is the Babaji very powerful one? And then Adisha's answer was, the way he recites mantra is totally wrong. Wrong mantra, because he knows the mantra very well. Totally wrong. But when I sit next to him, automatically I become so calm. So much I wanted to sit a little bit longer. So this is the power of compassion. So that's it. And then plus karmic connection goes together. So that's why in the modern doctors, nurses, if they have a compassion and they have this medicine, and it goes very well together. But if they don't have a compassion, but they have all the education and the medicine, sometimes it doesn't work well. First of all, that's why they act as they have a compassion sometimes. They have to smile, relax. They have to do. This is a sign of they have, but genuinely they don't have it, then there's a problem always. So best of the best healing is compassion and the power of truth. Power of truth. Okay? So the power of the truth is very powerful, because one time, at the time of Buddha, what happened was, Buddha has his competitor, whose name is Kasadi, Devadatta. Yeah. Devadatta is so kind, because he not kind, but we're grateful to him, because through him we can see so many qualities of the Buddha. So he always compete with the Buddha. So one time he heard that Buddha is taking lots of medicine. Buddha takes lots of medicine. So he thought like, I can eat that medicine too. So he competed, and then there was a reaction of the medicine, and then he fall sick so seriously. And then Buddha found out that Devadatta was not feeling well, and then some of the Devadatta students requested Buddha to come and check on him. When he sees the Devadatta, and then he brings his hand on a Devadatta, and then he says this: if my love and compassion towards the Rahula and Devadatta, there is no
No difference, no distinction.
not one slightly distinctions. May you recover now. He puts that, and then Devadatta heals up. Recovers. What happened to my English? So this is a powerful truth. So even in the Heart Sutra, at the end of they're saying, this, if I look at this, what's there? Now from this day you don't need to go to hospital. I'm giving you a free tip. Mantra sejo, pardon. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection, wisdom, the mantra of the great knowledge, unsuppressed mantra, the mantra equal to unequal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all the suffering, should be known as the truth, since it's not false. It's not false. It's the mantra of the truth. That's all. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you try that. Okay? But doesn't mean you don't need to go to hospital. But do this, practice that. The main emphasis, always tell other people and telling myself that when the real manifest suffering comes up, then Dharma is not like a emergency kit. What's the first aid? Okay? So Dharma is it's a preventative. So to prevent is from the cause of that, not the changing the result. Okay? So that has to go together. Okay? Satisfied? Not 100%. What's that?
Can you just chant the mantra so that I can...
Tiyatha gati gati paragati parasangati buddhai soha. It's a very, very, very simple, but it has a deep meaning. Tiyatha means teaching Shepherd. Tathagata, something like Tathagata. What? Tathagata. Tathagata, right?
This is the way.
This is the way. It's not that this is the way. all the other beings went through that. All the beings went through that. Great beings went through that. So I'm on that path. Teachingship, the Tathagata. Tata Teyatha. Gadi, the first Gadi is the path of accumulation. The path. Second is path of path of preparation. Paragati is part of seeing. That time you see the emptiness directly. The direct realization is there. So now you are not affected anymore directly by the ignorance. So now you are getting a bit free from there. So Parasamgati is the meditation. Meditation, part of meditation. The part of meditation is whatever you have seen, whatever you have accumulated, all this you need to wanted to put that into your habit. It's not like I can see it, but then it's fading away a bit. It's like I really wanted to put that into the getting familiarized. So that's why Parasamgati. So the Buddha you saw is very beautiful. Buddha you saw, no more learning. So now he's fully awakened, no more learning. So from there you don't need to bring any kind of motivation. You are not influenced by the ignorance. You are always under the sway of the great compassion. So you can do not whatever you want. That's very not a good way to say. You can control your own mind and energy here. So this is the and then also, one another tip for you maybe, one time His Holiness Dalai Lama got sick in Bodh Gaya, so he had to cancel his teaching. There are like more than 100,000 people. They have to, what should we do now? So he went through a train because it was quite emergency. The flights are not there. He went through a train. He had this, what is that, gallstone? The gallstone. And so much pain. And then on the, in India we have on the platform there are so many beggars and people. Some beggars are in a very bad condition, a swollen leg, and in a very difficult situation. One time His Holiness see one beggar with a huge problem, and then he looks to the beggar and then brings so much compassion towards him, and felt that he would practice the tonglen, the taking and giving practice, even in this difficult situation, and so much tears just rolled down, and then the pain was gone. So that's the power of the compassion. Maybe you will say like, you might say, His Holiness Dalai Lama, a very special being, or maybe like, he's following His Holiness Dalai Lama, he's praising him. But one good example is our mother. When the mother, that's what also His Holiness shared because His Holiness traveled in the plane in a business class. So there is a couple, the lady with the baby. The baby was sleeping, everyone crying, and then mother takes care of the baby the whole night. The next morning, when His Holiness says goodbye to this couple, the mother's eye was so black from here, so tired. But she holds this baby with so much love. What to take away from this? If we put somebody's baby in her arm, not going to work. That's her own baby. So much love, so much metta, metta. Kind? Loving kindness, okay. Loving kindness, the care, right? Is there. Sometimes we say unconditional love, right? What's there? Out of, that's a compassion. Even it could be not a great compassion, it's a compassion. So it is not like her body is exhausted, the mind is so fresh. The reason you know why the mind is so fresh? Can you help me with that?
Because she loves. Love itself makes people feel fresh, even if we sacrifice.
Could be, but she will never complain that my baby is so annoying. Right? Maybe some mothers do, I don't know. But personally, I'm here giving you the best example. So, like they never complain. So this really heals up. This is same for the Bodhisattvas. So Bodhisattvas, they have this kind of the mother's feeling towards their child. So they never become. Sometimes they do. Some Bodhisattvas, yes, they do. We have this, right? Chanju Sim. There's Nyamyat Yungurba. There's some Bodhisattvas, they think like, I cannot do it. But we're in a very early stage. Only Katip, the first one. And Katip, first one, sometimes they go like, oh my goodness. So they sometimes they feel like I cannot do it. On the second Katip, now, no returning back. They always go very straightforward. Because it's the power of the compassion. These are pushed by Gadi, Paragadi, all are pushed by the great compassion. So this is the best healing. Best healing. Okay? So try that. Not one time, 2 times. Do it. First you need to apply for yourself before healing others. Then automatically, as the Adisha said, because just sitting next to him, this mantra itself is very wrong, but somehow his wish, his compassion, his kindness is something different. That is something. Okay.
Can I ask the second question?
Oh, you have a second question? Oh, yeah.
So, there's a practice which is related to Om, Ah, Hu and Ma, with the breath.
Mm-hmm.
I've been practicing that since 3-4 years every day.
Okay.
1 hour every day, because that's in our normal lives, that much is the maximum time a person can afford. Is that enough to get enlightened in just the world, or is it like we have to leave and just completely dedicate all the hours just to this one particular practice, like all the huge monks, like you yourself and everyone does, stay in the monastery, go to the forest, or just by practicing that one particular. I've been doing that since 3-4 years, but still I have my attachments to particular things which are obsessive, which I I can't let go because it's tough. Because there's even if I try to forgive, it's difficult. Because somehow the hate part still comes up.
Wow. You're a brave person. You can share all your feelings. That's good.
I
So-
feel like if I'm sitting in front of an enlightened or a person who is like above my level, I should learn as much
No,
as
we
I
are
can.
same, I guess. My practice is very big, so I just have to sit on this. This is why I have to say very important things.
I actually got attracted to when I was reading about you, like you were in 3 days you were just in complete meditativeness, and that's...
Who said that?
I was reading about your past life.
Oh.
Was that your past... like
You got brainwashed. You got brainwashed. I never stayed in meditation for 3 years.
It was like 3 days or...
3 days?
Yeah.
No, not even 1 hour, to be honest. No. But anyway, here, Om, U, A, Ma. These are the syllables. It is a symbol. It has to present something. Present represent something. It represents body, mind, speech. Before saying that, you need to feel, what is wrong with my body, mind, speech? Then if you are having some kind of a object or some kind of refuge or a deity in front of you, why do you need his body, mind, speech if your one is good enough? Are you greedy? If you're greedy, then you need everything. This is necessary, you have to feel it. So then this is how our practice really comes together, saying my body, mind, speech is under the sway of the negative emotions. I am controlled by that. This divine mind, body, speech, which is the Buddha's, the fully enlightened, liberated one, unless I don't have that, I'm so limited. I cannot even bring happiness for my own. How can I bring happiness to my family? So then, when you say Om, first you need to see the situation of your Om, Uama, body, mind, speech, and then you really wanted to transform that into this great, which is the other causal refuge. Then you need to see this kind of a magnificent Om. Then there is, I guess, your ordinary Om and the extraordinary Om. Okay? So then, your one, there's nothing to focus. So you just like, the mind is very limited. So I need this kind of Om, this transformation. So first you need to admire that. And it is not like this body and mind and speech will just come to you. This is the biggest, the position what Buddha has hold. Like this cannot happen like that. So what you really need to is, you need to start as we started with this. I wanted to get rid of this body, mind, speech, because it is influenced by the negative emotion, the ignorance mind. I wanted to let it go. So then you need to do something to let that go. So then you need to, for an example, money, padme, home. Money, padme, why become this so important? Is because you wanted to change your this ordinary and so ordinary, so diluted, so stained body, mind, speech. You wanted to get rid of that. So then, how to get rid of this is through the practice of wisdom, which is the money. Right? No. Money, right? Money is used to be jewel.
Money the top.
Top, right? Well, the money is the top. I'm now see my meditation. The money, not the money here. Okay? The money, the jewel which is the Buddhita. Also great compassion. So through this compassion to yourself, which is the renunciation, compassion to others, which is the real compassion here. So with this, I'm going to practice and meditate on the emptiness, which is the lotus, Padma. Why Padma becomes so important? Padma represents that it is born from mud, but it is still stainless. Stainless, mudless. I don't know if we have that. So similarly, we are so diluted, but still there we can see the true nature. There are possibility that we can see this wisdom, which is unstained. All other our consciousness influenced, but their wisdom, the wisdom we wanted to stay focused on that, it's unstained. So that is the Padma. Then whom can be said transformed or wanted to change. So then it is complete. So your Om, with the help of money and Pema, and then it is complete. Otherwise, just saying Om has some kind of influence there. For at this moment, it's not enough, because the tools to change this body, mind, speech are the two remaining. These two, bodhicitta and the emptiness needs to be there. So you not only say Om, but then you have to plus that. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. 다 가져를 주세요. 주주주시다 가져를.
가만히 쉬려고.
그러면 이거 되죠?
주주세요. 쉬다.
주주.
주사나가 생각하면
니슈가 되는 거야? So only have 20 minutes now. So I think we need to move on now. Okay, thank you for all the very beautiful questions. Thank you. Okay, 다 되네. 방제 동네 마시는 데 님의 코어 미수비 타바 동네 롱바전도 세베 치로스 디토차다 디토차체 코지 동네 상바도 수수 동네 상바도 담벌 숨 동네 제 상바도 동네 투상도 동네 숨 상바도 당원 시진의스 네번도 공부 치고다 나와다学送거도 달라 코알디 다디도냐 델라사 코알라 조 공부니스 텔라 동네 동네 중네수 상바오스 디지 세티지로다
Cultivating a sense of just under that, yeah? A little bit. Yeah, just after this quote, here cultivating a sense.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
there. Here cultivating a sense of disenchantment with cyclic existence means reflecting on it as the origin of many sufferings.
So this we need to keep in our mind, because just one reason that you are not happy, one individual reason, like there's some problem with your partner, or maybe some family issue you have. Only that thing, if you bring, or now I want a renunciation, I want a liberation, that's not enough. When we talk about renunciation, we have to renounce the samsara. Renounce it well. Renounce the samsara. So it's a cycling. Even I, staying in Dharamsala, going to America, going to Europe, everywhere. Even I become a billionaire. Okay? So, still, once I am under the sway of this negative emotion, I'll be not happy. Because all the other sentient beings, all these celebrities are our teacher to teach us. They always say, I'm not happy. So we have seen that. So now, we shouldn't be so much blind, and now that we have felt like, okay, now, I'm not saying we should all, like I didn't answer your question, that all that we don't need to become a monk or you don't need to become a Rinpoche, but most important is, we have something in common. What is that? We don't want to suffer. Even the monkey who were jumping on the trees, they don't want to suffer. So, but they don't have a capacity like us. They don't have some kind of intelligence like us, like the brain that we have here. So, here we can think, through the human brain we have this capacity to say, I wanted to challenge my emotion. So then it feels like not just emotion, what is the root of this kind of emotion really coming up is so much clinging to myself. Sometimes we say pride. But many people doesn't know what is the strongest pride that we have is so locked down underneath. The core of it that we feel I, that is so cling to this truly existence of that I. Do you want an example of that? Yes. When you have a strong attachment towards somebody, so then your attachment is so active. And then if somebody comes and tells you that the object of this attachment does not exist, this is through only your mental projection. It shocks you. You are not ready to hear this. Right? Similar. When you say anger, you can accept it. When you have a strong anger, and then object of the enemy is your mental projection only, it's like only 90%. The scientist says like, you go, okay, that sounds okay. But you have a strong attachment to somebody, and then somebody tells you like, whom you really love so much, deeply, madly, you are into this, that person does not exist. That sounds a very bad news, isn't it? When my teacher, one of my teachers who was practicing to overcome attachment, he started meditating on impermanence, then ugliness of the body, and so on. He couldn't bring down the attachment. But then he started using these syllogism. The syllogism.
Correct reasons or
Also,
correct signs or
correct signs. Saying like the object, I'm forgetting how you put it.
Take the person that is the object I'm attached to. It's not suitable to be attached to that because the object, the person that's the object of my attachment doesn't exist.
And then automatically, not having so much thinking of the ugliness or the body or all that, he can bring that down. It looks like he's enjoying the movie and then the light is gone. The whole picture becomes blur. Who taught this teaching? Also the Buddha, when one of his students comes in and then says, I have a great offering to you, that today when I have a strong attachment, when I went to the market, I saw many beautiful girls. Then he brings the awareness like, oh, as a monk I cannot bring this attachment. Then he went to some corner place and then he started meditating on impermanence. And then his attachment was controlled. And then he offered this offering to Buddha, and Buddha gladly took it. And then once he's left, then he asked the other realized beings nearby. The person who said that he meditated on impermanence, he offered this practice to me. Do you think that person is on the path? So then the students didn't answer with respect. So Buddha said, I don't call this stupidity. I don't call this stupidity behavior a path. If he could, why all these unnecessary practices? If he could say, once he sees these all girls, then he can see this illusion like girls, and this illusion like the mind, and this illusion like attachment dissolves like that. So why he has to bring up all this unnecessary practice? This is how Buddha said it. Which is similarly here. What I just give you this correct science, right? The correct science. Very powerful. The current raison. 동의 영혼들이 koala kyo company 동의 투미 중에서 동의 투미 중에서 사바고. So just one particular reason that you are suffering, especially the manifest suffering, then many people start to look for, I wanted to become monk and nun and so on. That is not the actual correct way. So it's more like it looks like they are looking for a shelter from this problem, and then they shift into the monastery. Oh, the monastery is so comfortable. And they found another samsara in the monastery. And they cannot change the monastery again and again, and that's bad news. With respect to the monks and nuns. So this is the reason why here it is saying that once you have to have a quite renunciation, that you need to have the broader skill, the broader way of understanding, which in here it says with the cyclic existence means the reflecting on its origin of many sufferings. That many suffering doesn't mean like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It seems there is one takeaway from this. It's not saying, it's not counting only the manifest suffering. It is saying if it becomes a condition to bring me a suffering, I'm not going to use this. So, if this cup I have a strong attachment. If this cup is giving me some kind of really samsaric pleasure and brings so much attachment, then you say, I'm not going to use this cup anymore. I'm going to use the broken cup because it does not bring my attachment. So the problem is not the cup. It's the cup that can bring the attachment. So the more it's like the attachment problem here, you cannot control it. 제장 먼저 저기 나오려야 사바 세주가 사바 묘모는 사바 세주가 어디 사바 세주 좀 빼나 봉버디에 사제이 있어. 나로 뭐 사제이 이미 좀 생각하잖아. 봉벌 때는 차고지기도 왔어. 니시에라. 봉벌 때는 차고지기도 라베디 봉벌랑 차베기 계기 시조도 말아. 시제에 조디 요모 마방듯이 요모 유예받지. 요모 마방을 유예받지. 딜을 때는 요모 계기 깬디 치료. 인도자면 디페르단면서 라베디로다. 딜을 때니 요모 마방 딜을 때는 요모 계기 인도자면 디가 페르단면서. 라메라도 지기 슈 잡사디 매버디 매버서 좀 팽매바. 요모 매버서 So
in the Abhidharma text, it explains about contamination, or to be contaminated. So if you look at a pot or a cup and say it's contaminated, how is it contaminated? Because it's an object that when you observe it, it gives rise to attachment. And so it's contaminated by the afflictions. And the meaning of contamination is to be contaminated by the afflictions. And the cup itself, how is it contaminated by afflictions? When it's observed, then attachment arises in relation to it. So in order to, it's not enough to when it says about getting rid of it. So because we haven't abandoned the afflictions, they're there. Then the thing is to not use the cup. Right, so this is a contaminated cup because it gives rise to the afflictions, because the afflictions are there, the mind is contaminated with afflictions, so then we don't use the cup. But it's not enough to just get rid of the cup, you actually need to get rid of the contamination, which is the afflictions and so on.
You wish to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually in that sense, samsara is more like a mindset.
Yeah, you can say that.
Because it's not the problem of what's out there. It's like how we relate
Yes.
to it. Like
Yes.
how my level of consciousness.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're closely getting there. Because how this attachment gets super cling to this, because it is putting so much.
Because it's an exaggeration from the improper mental attention. So it's from the improper mental attention exaggerating onto the thing what doesn't exist there. So it exaggerates something that's not in line with reality there. If the improper mental attention was to observe the thing in line with reality, how it is, then no problem. But this improper mental attention, it adds on to the thing, it exaggerates what doesn't exist onto the objects.
Then, of course, all the attachment which you cannot have it, then there's anger. And then if you have one, that's not enough. You need the second version, third version. So without that, you will be very unhappy. If somebody has better than you, then there's jealousy. All this comes out. It's so strong. So that's why in the Theravada school, the monks, nuns, they have to have the begging bowl. So because there's no attachment when you start begging. And then robes and everything, how these have to stay as a very simple life. It's not that they cannot have a fancy luxury life, because they are trying to tame their emotions. So at the time when they are trying to tame their emotions, then at the same time, which really gives some kind of the object which is very near to you, then it becomes difficult. So it's more like we say, I need a space. Give me some time. That's a bad line, isn't it? So this is why that's also called retreat. So if you cannot tame your mind, and then how long? This is a very good debate in a Pramana, saying like, the negative emotions is coming because the object is very near. Once the object is there, then negative emotions coming. Object is not there, and then the attachment is not coming. So then this great master, Dharmakirti, debates to that school, saying like, if you think that the object helps you to bring, or not helps, the object is bringing the attachment, and there's a reason that you are not using this object or near to this object, and then there are so many examples in this world. There are so many people which they don't have it, and then they bring so much anger. So it is not necessary not having that object does not necessarily there is no attachment towards it. Right? You get it? My English is so good. Please help. No. You not do that. Many people didn't get it.
Better than you. Yeah, so the basic debate that Dhammakoti comes up with, that there's not a problem from the object. It's not that, people say that, if through independence upon that object then afflictions such as attachment arise, then getting rid of that object will prevent the afflictions from arising. That's what they assert. But then it's like, no, it's not like that, because there are many people who don't have that object and still afflictions arise, like anger might arise, or still, even without having the object, they can have attachment to the object.
You see this coming? Like not, he is having that, I don't have it. Because even he does not have that object, then not necessarily means that he can have, just staying far away doesn't mean that the attachment will go down. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah, but on the practical level, we still should practice not taking the cup, right, at the beginning.
Not taking the cup? If somebody pours the tea, then what happens? Just
Nazati Jodo Chedu, Dampone, they dampo in San Dampone, Nazati cup de la Chapa Yosa, Yena de Tarimbatena. Yeah, just I'm not taking the cup.
But that's our first step. That's our first step.
With the wine or
yes.
beer.
Yeah, of course. This is our first step. But then you need to deal with your mind. So this, once you have so much putting information on that, you are putting so much extra information, exaggeration. That you need to deal with it. You are putting putting exaggeration on the object that isn't exist. Right? Doesn't exist. Then there's a problem. So you hold to this cup. It's actually when you think this is the person time is very limited. Sorry about that. So if you look at this cup, for Buddha, he is using this cup. No attachment. I'm not saying I'm Buddha, but then for arhats, the sentient being, right? Sentient being are not arhats, they drink it as an illusion like. No attachment. For us, we have the attachment. So these three beings using the same cup, but the emotions are different, right? Emotions are totally different. Because of the drotasiki shi, chilo drotasiki shi yore, chilo drotasiki shi yamare.
The basis for the super impositions, or the basis for the exaggerations, for some of them they have that basis for the super impositions or exaggerations, and for some, like the Buddha, they don't have that basis for the super imposition or exaggeration.
One example is the magician. When the magician on the stage, he puts a spell on us, and he puts a spell on himself. There's no control. So because he's doing the spell thing, and then he got a spell, and then he manifest elephant on the stage. For the audience like us, we clink and we have appearance. But then the magician himself does not have a clinking, but he has appearance. So where that appearance is,
so where that appearance is, there's the basis for the superimposition or the exaggeration.
Mm-hmm. So in the audience, the Buddha sees the reality. He only sees this wherever this delusion,
the pebbles and twigs.
yeah, he sees only this. So, 3 different types of people here, and 3 different ways of looking at this elephant. Most beautiful is the Buddha's how he sees that. And then the second one is the magician, how he sees that. No attachment. But still he laughs, the elephant falls down, picks a human being and put it there. He cannot bring any attachment towards that, because he knows this is illusion. But down on us, for us, we are completely, fully spelled. That spell is fully activated on us. So we have the clinking and all these sufferings continues. So this similarly like this cup when you look at it. So as you said, samsara is something to do with the mindset. That's how we have to bring that up. We will see. So that's why if you tame your mind, samsara no more. If you cannot tame your mind, there is a samsara. Right? Okay, we talk more tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much. Om Zaji Bagi Zaji Mendoza Lira Meji Nide Yambadi Zangye Jindo Mie Babayi Dogu Nabda Jina Javajo Jetsun Lame Guze Rakenche Nanga Jinde Jojo Yevadam Lozan Dimbir Jume Zazambi Dore Muse Nanone Yoji Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Gane Andaya Yeah, same like yesterday. We do. Yeah, so in English we do the Kangrirabe to His Holiness. Kangrirabe Kore Shikam Dia Pendan Deva Manu Jungwe Jere Zon Dengen Yazori Jape Zide Badu Dengyu Chi Geva Kundu Yandan Amadan Demne Juju Bela Longju Ji Zada Rangi De Razode Doji Zangi Govan Yudo So we can continue with Jabel Pavu Jidere Kevadam Gündu Zambo Deyan Dejinde Dedar Kundu Jesu Daloji Geva Dula Damje Rabdomo Tesum Shibi Jawa Geva Damji Nawa Kama Joduna Bade Dagi Gire Dawa Digunyam Zambo Jeji Rabdomo Wari Denbar Injen Jogi Mageva Chagyan Nyamba Yuve Jodene Ninge Chembe Ira Gyubayi Vende Zava Cheva Shu